It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. From Fantha Tracks TV, this is Good Morning Tatooine!
It's Christmas! Yay! I'm your host, Brian Cameron. With me, as always, to discuss all the latest Star Wars and Lucasfilm news from FanthaTracks.com, Mr. Paul Naylor.
Hello, Bri. Hello, everybody.
Are you in the festive spirit?
Oh, well. Yeah. Oh,
It's getting cold. It's getting cold.
Evening, Mark.
Evening, Mark. Yeah, definitely. We can't read Mark's comment because of the Christmas lights. Oh dear. What a shame. What a shame. I can read it. I can read it. Lots of Star Wars news this week, Paul. Lots to get to. Should we just get straight to the show rundown?
Yeah, I'll start the list off, Bri. So, on tonight's show, Skeleton Crew, new premiere date and key art from the show that we will be getting later this week.
We've got a new official clip featuring Neil,
which is clearly Brian's favourite character. He loves a bit of Neil. Then after that, we've got an interesting little clip featuring Mark Newbold talking to Chris Ford and John Watts. Watch out for the slight error that might appear in that clip.
Indiana Jones in the Great Circle holds nearly 4 hours of cutscenes. We'll be discussing the upcoming game from Lucasfilm.
You can make a film out of it. Star Wars Hunters, which has been on the radar for some time now, is coming to PC in January.
Oh. Then we've got Jabba's Core, 10 years on from The Force Awakens teaser trailer debut. We'll be discussing how the sequel trilogy has held up.
That's frightening to think that was 10 years ago. And then we've got Star Wars. Is it Star Wars X Darc Sport or Star Wars Times Darc Sport? How do they pronounce it?
Star Wars crossed with Darc Sport, I think, is the way that the kids discuss
Star
it
Wars
nowadays.
Darc Sport. And they've got some rather nice looking sort of sports related items that you might want to get for stocking fillers.
If you're into clothes, of course, RSVLTS. I'm sporting one of their shirts tonight. They've got some new performance hoodies out. We'll be checking them out.
Looking very smart, Brian. Looking very smart. And then next up after that, we've got Star Wars in Concert, which has returned to the States. And a big fingers crossed that we get it back over here in the UK, because that is a really good show.
We've got a new planet coming to Star Tours, Disney Tokyo. And it's going to be part of their promotion for the whole month of April. When Celebration's on over there, we'll be checking out a little tease for that they've released.
Very nice, and I'm sure that'll come elsewhere as well eventually. And then we'll be finishing off with Grogu's Cutest in the Galaxy, which is a new animated shorts, which will be on Disney Plus later this week. So all great stuff.
Yeah, lots there to discuss. Jack's asking for me to give a twirl in the shirt. Let me see if I can fix this. Let's switch the lights off for a second.
Hey.
Let's switch the snow off. We'll throw Jack's comment up, and we'll rise it up. Look, this is like live kind of show creation. Switch the snow back on, like magic. We'll put some lights back on as well. Look, now we can read the comments. Jack would like a twirl. I'm not going to do a twirl, but like I'll do the little flash of the Naboo logos on the shirt, which was the London Comic Con exclusive shirt this year that I picked up when I was there. Yeah, Mr. Newbold, what kind of witchcraft is this? The kind that you see in Ahsoka. The controversial kind. Well, is it less controversial the Ahsoka witch magic than the Acolyte witch magic? Or is it all the same? Jack's going for one of the t-shirts. See, we've made a sale. We've made a sale.
5%, 10%. What's the commission? I don't know.
Yeah. We should head on with the show, I think. get straight to the news because we've got lots to get through. Skeleton Crew has got a new premiere date, Paul.
So the premiere date has altered very slightly. It still means we've got to get up at stupid o'clock, but it's something. It's progress. I know there's been various opportunities in the previous weeks for different people to see the first couple of episodes at different events that have happened. In fact, I think there's some that happened earlier today over in the UK. I won't dwell on that. I'd love to have gone, but still, it didn't happen. Things just didn't line up. But yeah, there's all sorts of different events. So there's many of you that will probably have already seen episodes 1 and 2. But for the masses, we now get it in the early hours of Tuesday morning. So technically speaking, 2 more sleeps.
2 more sleeps.
Yeah.
well, would you go to sleep on Monday night?
Yeah. No, I'm going to sleep tonight. Yeah, it's 1 more sleep. One more sleep. so
one more sleep, a Red Bull.
1 more sleep, a Red Bull, and a cheese sandwich. Yeah. Fantastic, it's sorted.
That's definitely sorted. That feels like a way to engage the Skeleton Crew.
That sounds perfect to me. So, and then that's the new key art there, Bri, for the show.
It is, which is kind of continuous, kind of 80s, kind of retro, kind of feel. Jack is making the comment that he's the fool that's going to stay up and watch it when it drops. I'm probably going to do the same, I think.
Yeah, me too. Why not?
Yeah.
What's the beauty when you make yourself? You can do what you want. I'll do that. Yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, that's like you say, Brian. It's looking very sort of 80s kind of poster. I love the bottom part of the poster where you've got the bikes coming towards you. Very sort of reminiscent of all sorts of things, really. I suppose E.T.
Isn't it?
A little bit of Return of the Jedi.
The big question is going to be, will those pirates have guns or will they have walkie-talkies?
Ooh.
That's, what version of E.T. are we getting? That is basically what I'm saying.
And are they going to try and make something out of Speak and Spell? This is what we need to know, No, it's looking really good. So yes, set your alarm clocks, get up nice and early. So it's only really for that one time that it's on a Tuesday. After that, it's Wednesdays.
After that, it's Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they've moved it. There doesn't seem any logic. If you were bringing it early, you would have thought we'd have brought it early. So it was out now. So Americans celebrating Thanksgiving with the weekend off or the long weekend would have watched it. Would have seemed the logic.
That would have made sense.
But you're kind of taunting them when you're putting them back to work and then releasing it. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But it's PR, so it's not designed to make sense to anyone.
I suppose, the only reason they mess around with these things is because it then becomes newsworthy, like you say. So,
yeah.
But either way, it's looking good.
Here's your friend, Paul, Neil, a character that you've suggested should be shot in the face.
I suggested that?
I'm sure it was you.
I probably supported the notion, but I didn't suggest it.
I've got the video evidence. We're going to clip a previous version of GMT and prove that it was you that suggested that Neil, with his little side parting, deserved to be shot in the face.
I think I'm just follically jealous. That's all it is.
Neil Nation will be upon you, Paul. You've been warned by Jack. Do we want to check out this little clip of Neil abandoning his friend, is how I would describe it, in a horrible, horrible, horrible way, and pretending like he's upset, but really secretly enjoying it because he's the nasty character of the series.
Shoot him in the face.
We'll check out the video and we'll come back and we'll discuss it.
desk until assessment is complete. If you skip a section, you will not be able to repeat it. No unauthorized data pads or comlinks are allowed during any of the testing sections. If you must use the refresher, remain seated and utilize your desk controls. If you finish a section early,
Where are you,
for the next section to begin. Any questions?
What if, say, someone missed their tram, so they're taking a shortcut
Sit down, student. The test will begin shortly. Sit.
That's Neil. Did you notice what I noticed? Neil's hand was fidgeting like a drug addict. This character's evil. I'm just saying.
Look at it's the eyes, isn't it? It's the eyes.
It's the
Not to
eyes.
be
It's the
trusted.
hair. It's the dungarees. It's the fact that he abandoned his friend because instead of shouting at his friend, "Run, you'll make it," he could have said to the bus driver, "Could you stop,
Hang on,
please?"
mate. Can you stop? Yeah, exactly. Now, I'd like to pick up on something that Jack spotted as well. The incredible speed at which that helmet went on. Yes, that I spotted that too, Jack. But
I think that health and safety stepped in there and said, "Kid needs to be wearing a helmet."
You think that's been CG'd on later on?
Yeah, I think so.
And I would like to add that when he pulled up to that barrier and then the strain as he tried to lift his bike over it reminded me of having a rally chopper. That thing was blooming heavy. That was a heavy bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
To put that down, you needed 3 people to lift the damn thing up again. Yeah. So that was accurate for an 80s kind of thing. I like that.
Piecing together all the clips. So basically, Neil's the one that causes them to find the ship and thus go on this whole adventure because he didn't stop the bus for his friend, and his friend was going to go crashing down that hill, fall down that hill, and find the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, at some point, I think probably for missing the test, he's getting detention.
You think?
And that's where he meets one of the female characters. Forgive me, I don't know their names yet. So she's also going into detention, and I think they might just wing it. And then possibly that's when the accident occurs where he falls down the bank. Or it might be that he discovers it, they go back to school, and then they go out to it again. I don't know. There's people out there that know the answer to this.
Yeah. Mr. Newbold pointing out the female characters or the female children are Fern and KB.
All right, Mark. No.
He's obviously he's met them, you know, it makes a difference. He's also met Neil.
Yeah, he has. And, he's not been the same since, to be honest.
He hasn't. He was kind of yeah, KB's the one with the visor. The one without the visor is Fern.
Yeah.
Mr. Newbold, what's your opinion of Neil in real life? The real life Neil. Is he going to end up being the evil protagonist, as I feel, of the whole show? And you know, shock the Neil Nation.
We await his comment.
Yeah, well, wait, he's digesting it.
He's talking.
There we go. In real life, he was fantastic. There we go. What nice comment.
He's so PC.
But yeah, I'm suspicious of Neil. Yeah, I agree with Jack. He's got major Sith Lord vibes going on. And he could be Darth Neil, you see?
Oh, Darth Neil.
that would be... He could grow up to be something evil. Definitely. I can see it. Jodnan Norwood, he could be a secret Sith. He could take on Neil as his apprentice. It could take a massive twist, this series. Unexpected.
No, the more I see of the show, the more intrigued I am, and the more I'm looking forward to seeing it. So fair play. It's looking good.
If people want to find out a little bit more about the series, you could head on over to Fantha Tracks TV, where you should be now if you're watching this, to be fair.
This is hilarious, isn't it, Brian? This is...
Mr. Newbold has been interviewing Chris Ford and John Watts. We could watch the whole thing just now if you want. It runs for about 4 or 5 minutes. Is it worth it?
Yeah, why not?
We'll run it. Let's run it now.
Yeah.
And you'll see Mr. Newbold ask an excellent question, which we'll debate with him just a moment in the comments.
Guys, when you came up with the concept for this, what made you decide that the focal characters would be 10-year-old kids?
That was the idea. We liked the idea of a group of kids that didn't really know that much about the Star Wars galaxy getting lost in the Star Wars galaxy and having to find their way home.
Yeah.
That was it. And then everything else was filling in what that means.
Yeah, kids in space.
Kids in space. It's set in the post-Jedi era. Was that always the place you wanted to tell that story?
I mean, originally we would try to be flexible because we weren't sure, what kind of adventures or what things that could happen to them maybe would be tied into a different era.
Yeah.
But as we developed it, we found that that era was perfect because there's kind of less of a force out in the galaxy. It's a little more left to its own devices, a little more lawless.
Yeah.
And that helps with the pirates kind of having their time.
It ends up being kind of the worst time for the kids to get lost in the galaxy, which for us is the best traumatic possibilities.
Yeah. Those first 3 episodes that we've seen so far, there's lots of very, very sweet OT references, from camera shots to certain phrases. Was that something that you guys came up with as you were writing it organically? Did you kind of think this could be kind of fun to just drop these things in? How did that sort of develop?
It was very organic.
Yeah, you just try to be the biggest fan that you can, and as you're writing, something just emerges where it's like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that moment from whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes it's for story reasons, like having it start with a ship being boarded. In our show, it allowed us to show what was different about these pirates. They're
Pirates.
Yeah.
That was a fun contrast.
Definitely full on. The 4 principal kids that you've got in this show together are brilliant. What was the casting process like? 'Cause it's great getting 2. George only had to get 3 people together. You guys got 4. So
Yeah.
how did you make that work, making that chemistry come together?
It was a really long process, the casting, because we saw a lot of kids that are really, really great actors, but Richard Donner told me that you don't cast kids to play a role, you cast kids because of who they are.
Yeah.
So we always kept that advice in the back of our heads, and you're just waiting for someone that embodies the spirit of the character to walk into the room. So for us, it's actually just about patience and just waiting, until Wim walks in the room.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hi."
And you're like, there he is, that's him. That's a kid from the show.
On Trafalgar Square this morning, those 4 kids are the 4 kids from the show.
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely. And after we cast them, we actually went back into the scripts and sort of punched it up to match their personalities even more, so that the kids could bring as much of themselves as possible.
There is, on Atatin, a very sort of middle-class suburban aspect to where they live. We've seen all sorts of locations in Star Wars before. When did you kind of know that you were finding the line between it looking too maybe much like a future Earth, middle-class suburbia, and it being Star Wars? When did you kind of know you'd hit the sweet spot?
I mean, we had that concept. We wanted it to be really clear just for the storytelling, like where they're kind of the feeling of the place they were coming from. And then when the Lucasfilm art team started showing us options, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
We knew it would work.
You sort of trust that the group of brains you have around you is going to let you know, when you found the sweet spot between Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and Doug Chiang and John Knoll. Once you sort of get it just right, you get their thumbs up.
That's brilliant. When you were designing this,
Yeah.
you've got, especially on Atatin, there's a certain aesthetic because of the situation that world finds itself
Yes.
in. But it's still Star Wars. Kind of similar question to the previous Suburbia one. When did you kind of know that this was the right look? Because it is a unique situation that these people find themselves in.
I mean, we knew that there were certain story elements, like, going to school in a bus, where it was kind of there. It's then we got to play with it, and we got to have the RX droid driving the bus.
Yeah.
And you got to have, going from the neighborhood to the downtown. That's when you got to play with the Star Wars of it all, and just having Doug Chiang designing
Yeah.
because you knew that it would be correct.
There's also, a bigger story there, that, there's storytelling elements that we were incorporating into the design from the very beginning.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, great, thanks.
Mick Giacchino nailed it.
Yeah.
When did you know he was the right guy to do the score?
We always wanted him to do it. I've worked with his dad so much on all the Spider-Man films, and Mick was always around and growing up. So I sort of like watched Mick grow up and get better and better and better at scoring. So, he just felt like the perfect match for this.
And ILM's work on this is, as always, exemplary.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How exciting to be leading and steering this Star Trek. Kill me.
I've done that once or twice today.
I'll
Dave
never
Filoni
live that.
called me
I'll
on that,
never
yeah.
live that down. That's a Star Wars project like you are, and see that sort of work up on the screen.
Oh, it's like a dream. I've always wanted to work so closely with ILM and to be working not only with them, but with John Knoll as our VFX.
Yeah. It was crazy. And especially, doing something like Neil, when we proposed doing this and having one of the main 4 kids be a huge special effects project, we weren't sure if we would be able to do it, but John Knoll was so confident that you could figure it out because he's in the history of movies been like, let's do this new thing that no one's ever done before.
Yeah.
And having that, I think he was just interested in doing it because we didn't know how we would do it.
Yeah, ILM is all about creativity first and then figuring it out along the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like our hat is off to them because we could not, people love Neil so far and it's because of their their bold choice to go for it.
That's brilliant. We are out of time now.
Now we are. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Great interview there by Mark. Even with the Star Trek reference there thrown in, just what was that, Mr. Newbold? Come on.
No, that was a really great interview.
I just thank him because now we've got something for the end of year show. Definitely blooper of the year. Blooper of the year has to go to Mr. Newbold.
Oh dear.
Jack saw no mistake, just a simple man making his way in the galaxy.
Making a meal of it, yeah.
Great interview though. There's also another one with Nick Frost who plays SM33 as well up on Fantha Tracks TV. So do check both those videos out. Give them likes, lots of comments, share them. Though you know the score. But yeah, really interesting answers as well from the showrunners on Mark's questions as well. And I love Chris Ford's facial reactions as well when he's contemplating the answers to the questions as well. Very worthwhile just watching his face sometimes. Jack highly recommends the Nick Frost interview as well. But yeah, it's I like the fact that they're being very clear that the protagonists are for children, but this isn't being targeted necessarily for children. Obviously, they want to get a family audience because Star Wars is a family audience. But the fact that it's got 4 children as a protagonist doesn't make it a kids' TV show.
True, very true. Yeah. And the fact that they set out all along to create it around the children, and that they've really, when they've auditioned, they've picked up on the qualities of a child, and created the character around that quality, if you like, which is a nice way of approaching it. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Next on the news agenda, something a little bit different. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to Xbox and PC on the 9th of December from Machine Games, Bethesda, and of course Lucas Games. And it'll be coming to spring next year on PS5. They've been talking this week about the amount of cutscenes, which is obviously a big thing in games now. There are like mini movies, and amazingly, described it as being roughly 3 hours and 45 minutes of cutscenes in this game, which is phenomenal. It's like 2 Indiana Jones movies crammed into this game.
And so people will be able to splice that together at some point and make it into a narrative, I suppose.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah.
And it just shows you there's been so much money and investment and time put into this game that I hope it succeeds. I've ordered the incredibly expensive version of the game. It comes with the Globe because I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. And so I'm looking forward to that coming. Though it's coming from Game UK, so it's probably not going to arrive before Christmas.
Oh no, you'll probably get it before that date.
Yeah,
It's probably on your doorstep.
Game have a terrible reputation when it comes to supplying pre-orders. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'm excited to see a little bit more from Indiana Jones. And of course, talking games, Paul, Lucasfilm have their own PC game coming early part of next year, with Star Wars Hunters arriving on PC. And it, of course, has already been out on mobile devices, and it's now going to make the transfer over to PC because of how popular it's been.
Yeah, that's right. I forget who I was with. I think it was Mark when we were over at Celebration a couple of years back now, where we were first introduced to this, and we got to have a go on like a beta version of it, if you like. And it was good fun. So it'll be nice to see how that translates to PC if they've done some development work on it, because it did feel a little bit sort of difficult to get going, shall we say.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a little check
hopefully-
of the trailer they've released to promote the
Yeah,
PC
sure.
launch.
Yeah.
Hope you're ready for some action-packed matches tonight, Lexi.
Our matches take place on custom-built battlefields, uniquely crafted to embody some of the most iconic battlegrounds from across the galaxy.
Air superiority.
Be gone! Better hold your breath. Now that is a winning squad.
Catch all the action on Hunters of the Outer Rim.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
like Mark says, I think it was just that we were very rubbish at it.
it's kind of a quirky game. It's
Yeah.
been immensely popular. It's got a huge fan base on mobile, and I think that's why they've decided to move it to PC. And you can see in that trailer there, obviously, with a few of the scenes where they're showing you the difference between the mobile version and the polished up PC version. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this fares. It's an interesting move, an unexpected move, I think, and I'm going to give it a shot, I think, when it comes to PC.
That was a very imperial outlook at that there. This an unexpected move.
Very unexpected.
So, what platform do you tend to play games on then, bro? With your Indiana Jones one that's coming?
I bought an Xbox so I could play Indiana Jones, and then about 3 weeks later they announced it was coming to PlayStation.
Oh well, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Oh well. So yeah, I'm sort of flipping between the two game systems at the moment, trying to learn the Xbox controllers.
I'm tempted to get Hunters for the PC, just to give me something to get me back into gaming, because I've not done gaming for probably 15, 20 years properly. So yeah.
Do you know what's happened? Look at Mr. Newbold. Just because we made fun of him for his Trek reference, he's picking on me now. we don't talk Fantha Arcade anymore.
Is the graphics still at the end of this?
It's coming. Yeah, it's going to be there, and it's going to be looking at next when it's launching. Just to spite Mr. Newbold. It's probably time that we headed to Jabba's Court, Paul.
Yeah, let's go to Jabba's Court.
Let's go to Jabba's Court. This week on Jabba's Court, we have a very interesting question, I think. We're 10 years on from the Force Awakens teaser trailer debut, and I'm asking the question, how does the first film in the sequel trilogy hold up? But maybe perhaps before we discuss the answer to that question, should we have a little look at the teaser trailer that dropped 10 years ago this week.
Yeah.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
So, Paul,
Yeah.
first of all, the trailer. It was a great trailer.
It was. It didn't tell you too much. It told you enough to get you sort of like really hyped up for it. I just can't believe it's 10 years ago since we saw that trailer. That is scary. Time really does it does exist in its own sort of weird way these days. But yeah, I mean
Does
straight away.
it hold up as a film?
As a film, I love The Force Awakens, and unashamedly love The Force Awakens. I think it's a great film. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's sort of been seen before in Star Wars, but I felt that it was a real strong entry. I know. I know. Just imagine when we're discussing the next one, Mark. But no, I felt it was a strong film. I thought that Daisy did a really good job in The Force Awakens. Not so good in the next two, but I put that down to script, not her acting ability. I thought she acted the socks off in this film, and other than Harrison Ford, really held the film together. It was great to see Han and Chewie again. Not so good to see Han meet his untimely end. Um, Spoiler alert. And it was good to see the R2 unit morph into something a bit different with BB-8. The one thing I didn't like about it was the lack of R2 and 3PO in it. I would have liked to have seen more of them. And the one the one amazing thing that they completely missed was the opportunity to have the original three together in a scene. That was a huge miss and a mistake, because sadly, of course, we lost Carrie Fisher not soon after, and therefore it was never going to happen. So yeah, for dropping the ball on that one, I can only give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I agree with you. I thought the handling of all the original trilogy actors, whether it was the droids, whether it was the three, whether it was Lando, who wasn't even considered to be
Yeah.
in the film,
Oh.
appalling across the whole trilogy, just appalling. And I think that's what's alienated so much of the fan base. It's like there wasn't a proper passing of the torch to a new generation. It just felt like we're throwing these on the bonfire kind of thing. It would just the whole handling of it was just poorly done, I thought. And even if you don't think it was poorly done, you have to kind of admit, I think everyone has to admit that the expectations were badly handled at the very minimum, in terms of if you weren't going to use them, you should have promoted it differently, because the way that they promoted it with Mark Hamill made you think that Mark Hamill was going to be a big thing of this, and they almost played on the fact that we're going to squeeze him in just a tiny bit at the end and have everyone think opposite of that. So I was kind of disappointed with the way they handled them. But just watching that teaser trailer now made me think of something that I've probably never thought of before. And in that teaser trailer, without even seeing him, Snoke felt like an incredibly ominous and powerful villain.
Mm.
And they completely dropped the ball with that character as well across the trilogy.
Yeah.
And he just became maligned and sidelined and killed off, and then become almost a bit of dirt on Palpatine's shoe in the last film. It's kind of very weird, where in that teaser trailer he's so prominent and the voice sounds incredible, and you just think we're going to have a fantastic new villain here, and it just never materialized.
I mean, with that gold gown, he looked like sort of like an even more decrepit Hugh Hefner, didn't he? Let's be honest. That's what he basically looked like, or at the very best, Gold Member from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. The whole costume idea didn't work. And yeah, you're right. From the trailers, I think we were all thinking this is going to be somebody that's even more sinister than Palpatine, and in the end, really poorly used.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw Mr. Newbold's comment up here again. Star Trek Picard showed how your reunions are meant to be done. That was magnificent and meaningful. The guy just can't shut up about Star Trek.
He can't, can he?
No. Just any opportunity, just drops the name in there. You know what?
Let it lie, Marco. Let it lie.
Get Star Trek and do their own promotion and content. Stop trying to introduce it into Star Wars, just to piggyback on the back of us, it's like shocking. But yeah, I think as a film, The Force Awakens, it was a little bit too much fan service, which is an easy criticism to give it. It kind of feels like whoever did it would probably get that criticism, because they're going to try and have so many moments that emulate the original trilogy a bit. Obviously, they went in the complete opposite way with The Last Jedi, and then with The Rise of Skywalker, tried to course correct, and it just felt like it just made the whole trilogy fail in my eyes, because it just felt like they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they wanted the story to be or what direction they wanted to go. And I just think, why start a story if you don't know the middle and the end? It's like,
yeah. I think one thing that I definitely would have changed had I been involved in the process, they didn't call me, they haven't called me yet, would have been I felt it was a little bit off to carry on having TIE fighters and X-Wings. I would have developed different ships.
Yep.
So that there's something significant.
Yeah,
for that.
If you compare it to the prequel trilogy, how much they made the prequel trilogy visually different from the original trilogy, they just didn't do that with the sequel trilogy.
No, not anywhere near enough. I mean, obviously the Falcon, we wanted to see that again, and the Falcon, that's fine. And they tinkered with it a little bit just so they could sell more toys. They changed the radar dish. Whoopee. But to all intents and purposes, we got the Falcon. But we didn't need to see yet more X-Wings and yet more TIE fighters. I would have liked to have seen a proper evolution, not just sort of like something that looks exactly the same but slightly bigger. A completely different vehicle. And the same with the Star Destroyers, really. Everything was very much sort of like, okay, well, we had these before, let's have them again. No, I don't think so. We're not driving around in Morris Marinas, are we? So.
No, that's very true. So basically what we're saying with, I think, in summary, is The Force Awakens, as an individual film, stands up well 10 years on.
Yeah.
It has its flaws.
Yeah.
Things that we would change.
Yeah.
But it's been let down by the rest of its trilogy.
Oh, massively.
Yeah. We'll go with that as today's decision on Jabba's Court, I think. And of course, Jabba's Court is part of Good Morning Tatooine, live streaming every Sunday 9 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. New York, and released every Wednesday. Honestly, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. never without a fail. They're all up there, up on Fantha Tracks TV. Go check them out. And we'll be back next week with another discussion point, guys. Paul, should we crack on with the rest of the news, because we've still got a heck of amount of news.
We're gonna have to whiz through some of these clothing items.
We are. We're gonna have to move quick. Let's see what we've got.
Okay.
Star Wars crossed with Darc Sport to unveil the Dark Side collection. I
It's a
wasn't
nice,
familiar with
it's a
Darc
nice
Sport
kit.
at all.
No, I was not familiar with the name at all. That's why I didn't know how to say the X bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, the back of that shirt there, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. I tried to sort of summarize what products they've got because I thought I'll just show what range they've got. And then I realized there was over 127 product combinations, ranging anywhere between $25 and $300, including box sets of all the t-shirts and box sets of all the hoodies. So what follows is a little snapshot at the range. Do check out the Darc Sport website for the whole thing, because we're not doing 127 products. First up, the Chosen One side-by-side oversized tee in black at $50, which a really nice image of Anakin on there.
Yep.
And Anakin, a little bit older, is Attack of the Clones, or probably Revenge of the Sith, in fact, Anakin.
Sith, yeah.
And the Jedi Knight version of the same tee. Very much evil Anakin.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do the dark side without Darth Vader in there, and it's the broken helmet kind of version with Anakin creeping through there. So there are really nice images. They also do a Kylo Ren one, which is a little bit more dramatic. General Grievous. Another Darth Maul, because you can never have enough Darth Maul.
Yeah. And
of course, another Darth Vader. And all of these designs are available in their hoodies, which are at $75. So the exact same designs, all on a range of hoodies.
Yeah.
They also have designs on bandanas, like this, the Power of the Dark Side Maul bandana in black. And on mesh shorts as well, if you're heading into the gym and you want Kylo Ren and Vader clashing their lightsabers across the front of your shorts.
Well, do you really want your lightsaber showing, Brian?
That's I don't know. I think I'd be careful as to what gets locked off by the lightsabers. But you can get a pair of shorts at $65. And I think that is the whole range. Let me just check. What else have I got, if anything? No, that is the whole range. So there's loads of other things. They've got T-shirts in all different styles and all sorts of other wonderful things. But that is a little snapshot of the 127 products that they've brought out. They seem to have, having looked into the company, because if we're going to talk about it, let's find out a little bit about them. A huge cult following.
Yeah.
So yeah, completely off the radar. Amazingly, I'm not into sports gear. Amazingly, like you wouldn't think it to look at me, would you? But
I thought you was a powerlifter.
Oh yeah, it could be. But yeah, there's lots of nice stuff there, and just not for me, I don't think.
No, I mean some of the t-shirts are nice. I don't think I dare wear those shorts. But the some of the t-shirts, the Grievous one I quite like, and the Darth Maul. So yeah.
Something that's more up my street. Roosevelt's are back with another product drop with their new Performance Hoodies, which are kind of a little bit sporty in their own kind of way. Designed, I think, for people that are a little bit into fitness. Retailing at $82 in America, £67 for those of us in the UK. And with some designs that we've seen before, but let's check them out because they look lovely. First up, Little Troopers.
Nice.
Which is like lots of little stormtroopers and from Commander Cody to Phasma and more. If you start checking them out, you'll find them all.
Yeah, you can, can't you? Yeah, they're good.
Perhaps one of their most famous designs, Star Wars, it's a trap with the Rebel Alliance Commander, Admiral Akbar. Although you can't really describe him as a Rebel Alliance Commander when he's Admiral Akbar, he would be the Rebel Alliance Admiral. Admiral Akbar, just to be pedantic.
Picky.
Yeah. But absolutely lovely design. I've got this on a shirt, which is Jabba's Palace Pals, because I'm obviously a big Jabba the Hutt fan. Reeves, Salacious Crumb, the whole crew are there. Jabba's squad.
Nice.
And Mr. Newbold there, he's a big Roosevelt's fan as well. Gungan style for the Jar Jar fans.
That's nice.
And all the monsters from the Gungan Ocean in there as well. If you like to say, oh no, goober fish. And other such classic phrases. And we have one that I'm sure someone will gift to me at some point. Star Wars droid drawings. I think I've actually got the shirt of this.
I've seen Matt wearing that one. I think.
Yeah, I think someone gave me the shirt because everybody knows that there's two things I love most: animation and droids. And I actually have one more to share with us, which is Trilogy's End, which was the very sad final moment where the democratically elected Emperor of the Galaxy was betrayed by his right-hand man and his religious zealot of a child, and as he was trying to restore peace to the galaxy. Shocking.
Is there not one? It's not one with Kirk and Spock on.
There's not. There should be one for that for Mr. Newbold, I'm sure.
Yeah. Just a thought. Come on, Roosevelt, put your finger out.
Yeah. So that is this week's Roosevelt's drop. All 66 quid. Bargain.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I'd probably have that last one there, bro. I like that one.
Yeah, definitely. There's Ewoks in there. There's the Rancor, Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, the Sarlacc, Admiral Akbar, Lando Calrissian, Princess Leia. You won't find any of them, I don't think. But there we go. But yeah, that's the very sad final end of democracy, as was known in the Star Wars galaxy.
Until he came back, and I don't know how he managed that.
Well, just because he was well aware of the terrorists' attempts to betray him, that he'd made a plan. But we don't talk about that because it wasn't a great plan.
It was not a great plan.
It wasn't a great plan, and it was. But it showed you how quick he did nothing to anybody, and look at all those terrible terrorists all ganged up and went after him straight away. Shocking.
Nasty people.
Nasty people, exactly. Talking of droids, we were talking of droids just a moment ago. Star Wars in Concert has returned.
This is so good to see this come back, bro. Have you been to this at all?
I'm not sure what one I went to. Mr. Newbold will remind me in the comments because he was there many moons ago before I even knew Mr. Newbold. I went to one at the O2 Arena in London, and I had a really nice seats right in the middle, close to the front, and this absolute idiot arrived late. Just an absolute idiot arrived late, disturbed everybody by arriving with about 6 in his party, and proceeded to sit right in front of us, just
Had he got like big frizzy hair, sort of, really
big frizzy hair, big bushy beard.
Yeah.
Called George Lucas was his name. What an idiot. Arriving late, it's just like, you don't do. And he was probably singing the songs as well. Like the people are singing the songs
lyrics?
at Wicked. Yeah. Just disturbed us all. There was about 8 in his party, all arrived late. And I thought, I've got a great seat here, and the row in front's empty. So I've got a great view of the screen and the stage. And he just sat there right in front of us.
No.
I don't think it was Star Wars in Concert. I can't remember. It was April 2009, apparently. There we go.
Really?
At the O2. I don't think it was Star Wars in Concert, but I could be wrong. It was definitely the Star Wars film being played, and Anthony Daniels was there. And
I think it would have been. I think it would have been Star
think?
Wars in concert. I saw it
Oh.
around the same time, but I saw it at Birmingham, and Anthony Daniels was hosting on stage, and my brother
It was
had
Star
bought.
Wars: A Musical Journey, I believe. Mr.
That's
Newbold's
right. That's right. And did you
Mr.
have?
Newbold's confirming that George Lucas sang "Celebrate the Love" to every song.
I
He
thought
also
he sang.
left early. He left before the end.
Did he turn around to you and say "Live long and prosper" before he left?
No, he left just
No.
before the end as well. Rude. Didn't say to watch the credits to see the people that worked hard on the film.
Did you have before you went in there loads of props and costumes from the films?
I can't remember.
Yeah. So the one that me and my brother went to, and I think it was called A Musical Journey, and it was hosted by Anthony Daniels, and he'd give like a little bit of blurb between each track. Me and my brother, where we were sat on the front row, whenever Anthony had done his bit and stepped to one side to let the orchestra play and got all the visuals up above, he was sat awkwardly not far from us, and occasionally he'd look over and he's sort of like, right, and he got his little gold lame jacket on for at least part of the show. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I mean, seeing Star Wars music played live. My wife Mandy, she's not a huge Star Wars fan, but I did take her to an event at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham not very long ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and she was totally blown away by it. Absolutely changed her mind totally on going to watch orchestras play.
And I think whether it's Star Wars or Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones have done it as well. So many of these big franchises have done this watch it accompanied with the music. That is something spectacular to see. So if
it is amazing.
Star Wars in concert continues and it appears somewhere near you, do go.
Yeah. I would imagine if it's returned to the States, it's bound to come over here at some point. And it's a must. If you've not seen Star Wars music being played live, you are absolutely missing a treat. It is incredible.
Next up, Star Tours at Tokyo Disney is going to have a special event running from April 8th through to June 30th. So covering the time that most people are going to be there for Star Wars Celebration. And if you're not going to Star Wars Celebration, but you're happen to go to Japan and going to Disney Tokyo, you can also enjoy the fact that we're going to get a new planet, some new characters, and we can check out a little trailer that they've released with the most non-Star Wars music in it, having just talked Star Wars music. So that's a little promotion there from Tokyo Disney. Mr. Newbold's reminding us that Star Wars Insider 230 has his interview with Anthony Daniels where they talk about Star Wars in concert. That's Star Wars Insider, not to be confused with the official Star Trek magazine. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to go to Tokyo Disney if I do Celebration Japan. Still trying to sort out tickets. Hopefully do that this week. It's on the plan. I would like to go and do Star Tours there and see if I get picked to be a rebel. And if I do, I'll stand up and protest. I am not a rebel. I'm a staunch supporter of the Imperial Empire.
Now, I mean, we've done Star Tours before, Brian. I think together we did the one in Orlando. Were you in Orlando?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Is that the one where we went round and round until we got Hoth?
That's right. That's it.
That was a good day.
So I can only imagine that once this has had its premiere in Tokyo, that it's then going to get rolled out to all the Star Tours sites across the world. So Well, America. So it's not long now.
Yeah. Mr. Newbold, he was there as well. He remembers staying on till we
Yeah.
get off. We're most upset because they couldn't pick what planets we went to. Obviously, it's just random.
But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You can literally go on the ride, go and queue again, and get a completely different ride the next time.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you get to be the spy as well. That's quite cool.
Absolutely. Talking about Star Wars in Japan, the official Star Wars Japanese Instagram account is going to be getting some exclusive Star Wars animated content in the form of Grogu, Cutest in the Galaxy, a new series that's going to drop, and it's going to start with a couple of episodes, I think, and then it lands every month on the run up to Celebration in Japan. And
Right.
there's also going to be a gift range that'll make you puke to accompany it as well. And we
So
can check out.
did I get the wrong end of the stick here then, Bryce? This isn't a Disney Plus thing. This is purely on Instagram.
Purely on Star Wars Japan's social media. I believe it's an Instagram thing.
Oh my life, that's very specific.
But we can check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I've mucked up. Let's try again. Let's. Oh no. There we go.
No, I think we've seen more than enough.
I've broke it. Right, here we go. Technology. Take a shot of the QR code and you'll be able to watch it. I'm holding out hope that is Grogu's end that's showing you there, that he's blown up. Hope that's what it's trying to tell us. I can't guarantee that.
We're probably not the target market for this one, but I could live without that. Yeah.
I think. Is it more? It's more your market.
It's definitely not my market. No. Oh, there he is. I've seen him behind you. He's behind
He
you.
is. He's always there. Always there with his beady eyes watching. That is all of this week's news, Paul. Your thoughts on this week's Star Wars news?
It was great. There's always something going on at the moment, which I like. Obviously, very excited to see this week's new release. So once we've got that, we've got a few episodes. I believe we'll be doing some form of reviews on that over at Fantha Tracks. So Skeleton Crew, we are going full on with that. Yeah, I mean that's the main thing for me at the moment is Skeleton Crew, and Neil and his side party.
We can obviously, as you're saying, people can check out Fanthatracks.com for all the latest Star Wars news in a single file for everything from the films, TV, collecting, fashion, game, literature, music and art, interviews, event coverage, podcasts and reviews.
And of course, you can find us on social media. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X or Twitter as it used to be known, TikTok and others.
And Fantha Tracks Radio as well.
Yeah, there's always something going on there.
Yeah, we've got new making tracks on Tuesday from MCM Birmingham and Friday with the Costuming Across the Galaxy panel.
And if you want to catch up with Start Your Engines, our latest episode released over the weekend, and it's quietly iconic.
And of course, Fantha Tracks TV, where you've got Good Morning Tatooine every Sunday, Jabba's Court on a Wednesday, and Fantha Arcade that will launch with Indiana Jones. I think it's December 9th, if Game UK supply the game on release day. So it's all down to Game UK. The pressure's on. Will they deliver? That is the ultimate question, Paul.
I will get onto the CEO of Game right away because I'm not having you delayed. This isn't fair. You've waited long enough for this.
So that's another episode. Good morning, Tatooine done.
You don't have to sound.
Yeah.
Don't sound so exasperated.
Oh, I know. It's been a long week. It was the start of December. It's Christmas time. It's hectic. All it's left to say is, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
And obviously, live long and prosper, people.
Ah, Nanu.
Keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news each and every day on FanthaTracks.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and Pinterest at Fantha Tracks. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow Fantha Tracks TV to be alerted to new content and to be a part of our live shows.